Hey guys, this is Jam of jamonline.ph and we got here the latest smartphone from Realme, the Realme X3 SuperZoom. Ito yung pinakabagong flagship ngayon sa market and I'm really excited for this one. Personally, gustong-gusto ko na to dumating sa Pilipinas and finally, it's here. Bakit ako excited sa kanya? Kasi meron siyang Snapdragon 855 Plus processor. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin yon. 120 Hertz ultra smooth display. We also got here a 60 megapixel camera that is capable of 60 times super zoom. Ganun kaganda yung camera niya. And of course, we got here a 32 megapixel plus 8 megapixel selfie camera. So ano ba bang inaantay natin? I-unbox na natin and tingnan natin kung ano ba meron dito sa Realme X3 SuperZoom. Okay, so yung variant na nakuha natin guys is the 12 gigs variant na RAM with 256 gigs of internal storage. That is more than sa ina-expect ko. Kala ko 128 lang yung makuha natin dito, pero it's 256 and 12 gigs of RAM. So better pa siya compared sa mga flagship smartphones na nasa more than 40 or 50,000 pesos. Okay, so this is the Realme X3 SuperZoom. Ayan na po mga kaibigan. The box, ilagay ko lang dito sa tabi, ilagay ko lang dyan sa side, okay? Then, unang-una, meron tayo ditong information guide. Probably hindi nyo naman ito babasahin guys, diba? We also got here the jelly case, as expected sa mga Realme smartphones. And we got here the Realme X3 SuperZoom. Okay. Oh, wow. Ang ganda niya guys. Ang ganda niya. Sobrang ganda niya. Sa tanggalin yung sticker niya, sobrang satisfying. And look at that, ang ganda ng design ng Realme X3 SuperZoom. Sobrang panalo nung kanyang back design, ang ganda niya, sobrang type ko, okay? Of course, sa loob, meron tayo ditong 30 watts na charger na included dito. You can hear this is the power brick. It comes with a USB-A na port and it's a 30 watts na charger. We also got here the pin for the card tray. And of course, the USB-A to USB-C cable. Now you already know what's inside the Realme X3 SuperZoom na box. Now time to test drive this one. And of course, isa-set up ko muna bago ko pakita sa inyo yung mga sample photos and yung short experience natin dito sa Realme X3 SuperZoom. So na-test drive natin si Realme X3 SuperZoom for almost half a day. And I was quite impressed dito sa nakita ko sa smartphone na to. But before we proceed doon sa mga experience ko earlier today dito sa Realme X3 SuperZoom, gusto ko lang discuss muna sa inyo on what we can expect dito sa smartphone na to. First, we got here a glass back and a glass na front, and both of them are rocking a Gorilla Glass 5, which means that the protection on both the back and the front glass of the smartphone is really sturdy and hindi kayo masyadong mag-aalala when it comes sa mga gasgas or mga mabagsak niyo siya or anything. Of course, may chances na mabasag, but having Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and the back of the smartphone means that it's solid enough and sturdy enough compared to other smartphones with a glass na body. So the one that we got comes in Arctic White. So nakikita nyo naman dito, may konti siyang reflection but it's not as the same as the Realme 6 Pro na napaka-detailed ng mga reflections niya. But this one is more subtle and mas gusto ko tong ganito, honestly. But I prefer siguro yung Glacier Blue color rather than the Arctic White. But yeah, this is still fine with me and I still like the colors that we're getting in this smartphone. If you have noticed, medyo kakaiba yung back niya because this one comes with an anti-fingerprint layer, which means that kahit anong hawak ko dito, kahit ma-oily yung kamay ko, hindi siya masyadong magkakamera ng fingerprint sa likod, which is something that I really like kasi more on aesthetics yung pinaprefer ko when it comes to smartphones, and having an anti-fingerprint dito sa likod ng smartphone na to is something that I really love and na-appreciate ko with Realme. But of course, medyo mapapansin nyo, medyo madulas siya and parang medyo may pagka-mist yung glass niya sa likod. It's not the first one to have this kind of design. I believe yung R17 Pro ni Oppo, parang ganun din na may parang mist glass na design sa likod. But I still like the one that we're getting in here dito sa Realme X3 SuperZoom. Another thing to notice dito sa smartphone na to, again, we got here a 64 megapixel quad camera, but this time we're getting here a 60 times super zoom because of the periscope lens. Similar naman yung design niya compared to other Realme smartphones, but in this one, compared sa other smartphone manufacturers, we're getting here something na hindi masyadong protruding camera yung nasa likod. So what we're getting in here dito sa Realme X3 SuperZoom is a high-end camera, 64 megapixel camera, 60 times zoom, and yet hindi ganong protruding yung camera niya. Of course, may konting protruding but not so much. We might have a glass back and front dito sa Realme X3 SuperZoom, but we got here a plastic sides. But nonetheless, para sa akin, okay lang naman to. It still feels solid because of the glass back, and I wouldn't complain about that one. We also got here a fingerprint scanner on the side, which also doubles as the power button of the smartphone. And of course, we got here a USB-C port below that can charge your smartphone up to 30 watts, which I think is fast enough for most people. The smartphone also comes with a 4,200 mAh of battery, and I believe para sa smartphone na to, enough na naman to. Again, ginamit ko siya for almost half a day yesterday, and I was pretty happy with the battery life kasi hindi naman siya naubos despite using it that much. Okay, here's to the best part of the smartphone. We got here a 120 Hertz refresh rate on its 6.6-inch Full HD Plus display. So the Realme X3 SuperZoom has a better 120 Hz display over here. It means that it's better, lot better compared to the Realme 6 and the Realme 6 Pro that packs a 90 Hz refresh rate. So, pag pinagtabi nyo siya, makikita nyo pa rin yung difference between 90 Hz and 120 Hz. And I think it's a big factor sa mga tao na gusto ng battery smooth na navigation, scrolling, web browsing dito sa smartphone na to. Of course, we're still using our 6.6-inch Full HD Plus display that's quite big already for most people. It's a flat display, no curved display over here. And based sa usage ko earlier, the smartphone does have a good outdoor visibility, which means na kahit gamitin ko siya sa labas and kahit na nasa taas talaga yung araw, tirik yung araw, hindi ako problema sa visibility ng display kasi okay yung quality na nakukuha ko dito sa Realme X3 SuperZoom. So, inside the smartphone is something that you should appreciate because this one comes with a Snapdragon 855 Plus processor and also 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage. Okay, going dito muna sa 12 gigs and 256 gigs, I think this is large enough for most people. Some flagship smartphones are still using 8 gigs of RAM and okay pa naman yung usage ko ron. Hindi ako nagkukulang with 8 gigs of RAM. And having 12 gigs of RAM on this smartphone is something na okay, mas snappy, mas mabilis, mas may memory ako dito, and wala akong nagiging problema when it comes sa RAM and the 256 gig storage of the Realme X3 SuperZoom. Okay, now let's talk about the Snapdragon 855 Plus processor of the Realme X3 SuperZoom. So the Realme X3 SuperZoom does have an 855 Plus chipset. It's not the latest one because the latest one is the Snapdragon 865. Is it a bad thing? Not really, because the 855 Plus processor, because until today, as of this recording, the processor is very powerful and it can run applications and games nang walang problema. Actually, wala akong alam na games na problema with 855 Plus, and 855 Plus is stable enough for most games, including Black Desert Mobile that I have reviewed before sa mga smartphones sa mga 855 Plus, and hindi ako nagkameron ng problema doon. So it is still a high-end chip despite months old pa lang naman, wala pa yata siyang year old, I believe. Despite that, powerful pa rin siya, malakas pa rin yung performance na nakuha natin dito sa Realme X3 SuperZoom, and I wouldn't complain. Most users siguro na hindi naman sobrang hardcore, na hindi naman kailangan ng pinaka high-end na chipset, kasi if you're running Mobile Legends, PUBG Mobile, hindi kayo problema dito. And again, we're having here a 120 Hz display refresh rate, and I believe the smartphone won't be expensive. So having that combination na may 855 Plus na chipset, which is a high-end chipset, and also a 120 Hz refresh rate, I think sobrang ganda niya, okay? Sobrang powerful niya, and sobrang satisfied ako sa nakukuha ko dito sa Realme X3 SuperZoom. So let's go to the best part ng smartphone na to, which is the camera. So pag-usapan muna natin ang camera ng Realme X3 SuperZoom. Ano bang ma-expect natin dito? So first, we got here a 64 megapixel main camera. It's a Samsung GW1 sensor. Of course, we got here an 8 megapixel periscope lens that is capable of 5 times optical zoom. We also got here an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens and a 2 megapixel macro lens. For the selfie camera, we got here a 32 megapixel selfie camera. It's an IMX616 sensor. And then the other one is an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera. So, okay, I've tried the smartphone again earlier and ginamit ko naman yung 60 times zoom niya, and I can say sa inyo na I was impressed with the quality na nakuha natin dito sa zoom function ng Realme X3 SuperZoom. It's something that I really like pagdating sa smartphone na to. And knowing that this won't be an expensive smartphone, the Realme X3 SuperZoom does have a really good camera. Again, especially dun sa zooming. But of course, hindi lang naman yun nakukuha natin dito. We also got your Starry Night mode, which is something that people would love, especially if they love night photography. So, hindi to yung nightscape, iba pa to. Starry Night gives you a better starry shots pag nag-shot kayo sa gabi. Unfortunately, hindi ko kaya dito sa place ko right now. But hopefully, I could try it soon and share it on my social media. So, be sure to check out my Instagram and also my other social media channels at Jamancheta. Okay, going back, let's check out some of the shots that I took using the Realme X3 SuperZoom. So our first shot is this dog. So nakikita niyo naman na maganda yung kulay ng dog. It's golden brown, and what I like about it is the details that we're getting in here. Everything is quite sharp and may konting depth of field tayo dito. Nagustuhan ko yung quality ng nakuha natin dito na color sa shot na to. So dito muna tayo sa one-time zoom ng shot na to, and nakikita nyo naman na maganda yung dynamic range natin dito, maganda yung colors na nakuha natin dito, and I really like the quality that we're getting in here. But pagdating dito sa 60 times, I'm still impressed. Yes, hindi siya ganun ka-detailed, but that's expected since this is a 60 times na digital zoom sa smartphone na to. But we're still getting the details, and readable naman and visible naman yung mga details na kuha natin. And imagine yung layo nung kuha natin from 1 times to 60 times. So this is a shot ng mga villagers natin sa Animal Crossing, and what I like about it is that may depth of field tayo dito, hindi overexposed yung shot natin kahit diretso yung ilaw dito, and the colors are really nice. So okay na okay ako dito, and it's very very sharp. So I love the shot that we got in here dito sa Realme X3 SuperZoom. So this is a shot of the pencils and the pencil case. Yes, it's sharp. Yes, it does have a vivid colors. Although, parang feeling ko medyo nasa cooler side tayo dito. Mas bluish side ng konti. It's not to the point yung tint niya na bluish is sobrang halata. But I still appreciate yung colors na nakuha natin dito. Siguro konting warm lang. But I think ma-adjust naman to. Madaling ma-adjust. And I'm still fine dito sa kuha natin dito sa Realme X3 SuperZoom. Dito sa Marshall speaker na to, kita nyo naman na maganda yung details sa kuha natin dito. I have no complaints dito sa shot na to. Maganda yung shot natin, sharp yung shot natin, and sobrang kita yung details sa mesh ng speaker. So this is my first selfie dito sa smartphone na to. So the selfie camera of the smartphone is quite sharp. Yes, okay naman yung quality, but it's not the point na sobrang ganda niya. So, nandun ako sa okay lang na quality dito sa selfie camera ng smartphone na to for the 32 megapixel. So, this is the 8 megapixel ultra wide selfie camera ng smartphone. It's not the most detailed shot that I've seen, but for an ultra wide selfie camera, okay na ako dito. Kasi normally yung mga ultra wide selfie camera ng smartphone, yung quality niya is not the same doon talaga sa mga ano, and sobrang layo ng difference. But this one, I'm fine with it, and okay naman yung quality. But of course, makikita niyo yung difference between the 32 and the 8 megapixel selfie camera. And lastly, gusto ko pag-usapan sa inyo yung UI niya. It's the Realme UI. I love the Realme UI because it's fast enough. It's like vanilla Android. It's really fast and really responsive. And again, we got here a 120Hz refresh rate. So nadagdagan yung ganda na experience ko dito sa smartphone na to. And speaking of the 120Hz display, you can actually adjust the refresh rate of the smartphone from 90 to 120Hz just going sa display settings ng smartphone. But of course, you can choose yung auto settings to conserve a little bit of battery kasi mas matakaw ng konti yung 120Hz refresh rate. But in my usage earlier, kahit na 120Hz refresh rate tayo dito, hindi masyadong naubos yung battery ko, and I'm happy with the quality that I'm getting in here. So yeah, okay lang ako na mag 120Hz refresh rate dito all throughout sa paggamit ng Realme X3 SuperZoom. But of course, it does come with some pre-installed applications. By just swiping left, makikita niyo yung Smart Assistant that you can enable or disable. And then of course, meron tayo ditong mga applications like web novel, opera, music, game center, yung mga basic applications that you won't probably need sa smartphone na to. Of course, we got here the hot games and the hot applications that you can easily uninstall. But of course, meron din tayong app market na kasama dito if you don't want the Google Play Store. But yeah, just choose the Google Play Store para wala kayong problema. So yeah, I guess that's it dito sa ating first impressions ng Realme X3 SuperZoom. So overall, I really like the build quality that we're getting in here. We got glass in the back, beautiful design, glass in the front, fine display, a really nice camera, and a 60x zoom on a budget. I'm not saying na it would be something na super affordable, but something na abot kaya ng mga people na gusto ng flagship smartphone. I do not know yet the price of the smartphone, but I expect it to be something na nasa affordable side, knowing the Realme smartphones na ganun lagi yung target nila. And of course, we got here 120Hz refresh rate, and I love that we're getting that feature because not all smartphones have a 120Hz refresh rate. And even do sa budget side nila, the Realme 6 meron silang 90Hz refresh rate. So, tackle nila yung territories ng mid-range or medyo entry level na mid-range smartphone up to the flagship level na meron tayong magandang refresh rate dito. And with the Realme X3 SuperZoom, nag-up yung standards natin because we got here a 60 times super zoom. And of course, meron tayong Starry Night mode that I have yet to try, but I was really amazed with the shots that I've seen sa internet and also from Realme. So I guess that's it for our unboxing and first impressions of the Realme X3 SuperZoom. So if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click that bell button to get notified of the latest videos here dito sa Jam19 YouTube channel. So once again, I am Jam of Jam19.ph. Thank you for watching and see you guys again sa susunod na video.